Stadium. At 1 o'clock we'll be meeting Muir, Sifan, Hassan and Karsten Warholm. We've got 3 athletes of great interest, all of you coming in first. The format will be, by the way, my name's Jeff Whiteman, I'm one of the stadium announcers. The format will be one at a time, so they'll come in with their competitor bib for a branded backdrop individual photo, and then the 3 of them together. Then a few questions from me, then questions from you, and then all of them are available one-to-one. So I know you're not a stadium audience, but let's give a little bit of applause as they come in. We'll welcome, first of all, the Olympic and world champion in the 110-metre hurdles from Jamaica, Omar McLeod. I think if we have you in the centre, if that's okay, yeah.
Model face.
Work it. Pout. Well, that's nothing to follow then. For our second guest, please welcome triple European champion for Great Britain, Dina Smith.
Up to you. I'm just going to smile.
Work it.
I'm joking.
And our final catwalk model is the triple Olympic medalist for Canada. Please welcome Omar de Grasse.
You do it. You're going to do it?
And 3 of you together, please. Let's have the rose between 2 thorns. Make sure you get my impressive display of Muir yogurts into the picture as well, please.
Oh, this way, huh?
Okay, straight down at me, please. Thank you.
All done? Thank you. So let's start with the ladies. Dina, I know you like to say hello on these occasions, don't you, as we introduce you?
Yeah. Hi. Okay.
The last time we saw you, I think, was at Birmingham Diamond League last year, and you'd had such a breakthrough in your fame standings that the lady at the coffee store at your local railway station was giving you free coffees, having worked out who you are.
One.
Has it not moved on from that?
No, obviously, I'm not going to, no. But, yeah, coming into the last time we've obviously spoken, I've spoken at British Diamond League. It was after Europeans, which was a great championship to me. So it's nice to be running in the UK again. Since then, it's been a long time, and I'm so excited to be running at home in a home Diamond League. And but yeah, no, it's been it's been a fun year, I have to say.
And we've seen you do chat shows. We've seen you you're writing for the Telegraph on issues that matter to you, and you've done the front cover of magazines. Has that been a part of the plan, or are you just taking the opportunities as your fame hits the spot?
I wouldn't call it fame, but no, it's definitely not been part of the plan. I've just been very fortunate to get a whole host of different opportunities, and sometimes being in track and field, sometimes I feel like you can be a good ambassador for the sport, and that's what I always try and do, just try and put my best foot forward and represent sportswomen and track and field in the best way that I can. And that sometimes means, although I do focus on training and making sure that I go to every sessions and I'm well rested and recovered to make sure that I can give my best every time I run, it does mean doing the occasional thing to kind of put the sport out there. So.
And as you become a greater and greater role models, who are or were your role models?
That's a very good question. Definitely, I think my role models change all the time. I'd have to say, like, Serena Williams is amazing, obviously, but I think I don't need to explain that one. Growing up in the UK, I definitely grew up in the era when David Beckham was like an incredible, he still is an incredible person, but incredible footballer, and there was that tale of when he used to go and practice all the free kicks in his spare time, so I'm definitely in tune with that. And then obviously just my family members as well. I've got a very, very strong and close family, so I'm very fortunate to have loads of inspirational people within that.
Have you met Beckham?
Me, no.
What would you be like when you met him?
I think I'll be cool. I don't know. What kind of question is that? I don't know. I mean, it'll be cool, I guess. I don't know.
So your season this year, it looks as though you started it at the normal time, but you've actually sort of spaced out your races a little bit more than you might otherwise have done. You missed the indoors. Is that a fair comment? Are you sort of pacing yourself in the countdown to Doha?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've all known the date of the World Championships for, as long as it's come out. So we all know that we have to peak at the end of September, coming into the beginning of October. So my coach and I and my team, we just work backwards from that, and we work out the best plan to make sure that I'm in the best shape possible when you really want to be.
And you started your season racing 400 metres in a Kent League or a league match in Kent. And your mother has long had these ambitions for you to race 100 metres, 800 metres.
That's not going to happen.
Are you not getting close to that?
No, that's a long way. 400. I did 400. I was like, look, that's enough. I'm done. My coach is happy now. I did the work. I'm not involved. It's a long way, very long way. Hard distance, and 800 is a big no. Like, no.
So if we look at your competition schedule this weekend, you've got heats and finals of the women's 100 metres. Looking at the lineup, it looks like it could take close to a British record to win it. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I think probably, definitely. I mean, every kind of field that I've come into this year has been like a World and Olympic final, and that's something that I feel like we're in a great position to be in the women's sprints right now, because whenever you step on the line, you know that you have to bring your best, and then you will, and then you deliver. But, I mean, obviously you have to run really fast to win this Diamond League, as you would kind of the other ones as well.
And is everything on schedule? I mean, this time last year you were coming back, or you perhaps just come back from that difficult injury. Has it been a smooth year for you this year?
I was last year I was kind of injury free, so I was good last year, and but yeah, it's been fine. It's been just making sure that I'm continuing the hard training whilst racing and trying to hit my technical points when I'm running, but also making sure that I peak in October. So.
Was it the previous year you had the injury?
Yeah, previous year.
2017.
Yeah,
Time flies.
It does.
So final question from me, and I'll ask the other two this as well. When you're competing at a meeting like this, if you get the chance, what's the one other event you look out for, either on the screen or if you can sneak into the stadium?
That's a good question. This weekend I'm going to be watching the men's 100 because James is running, and James is a really good friend of mine, so I'm really excited to see him. But apart from that, I actually really like watching the hurdles. Like, yeah, it's really entertaining.
It's a contact sport.
Yeah, contact. It is. It is a contact sport. Seriously, yeah. I always say I'd love to do hurdles one day, but I'm way too clumsy, so I don't think it would go too well. But I like watching the hurdles.
And when you get to the Olympics, if you can see one other sport, if your schedule allows, what's the other sport that you look out for?
Probably women's gymnastics. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's amazing. Like, their strength and coordination is something that I would I'd aspire to be that flexible and coordinated. So it's really cool.
Let's turn our attention to Omar at the end. Let's ask those two questions first of all. So what do you like to look out for within a track and field program, if you can catch it either in the warm-up or in the stadium?
Well, definitely, because I'm British. You guys know I'm British. So definitely, I'm looking for that style.
You can continue.
I'm looking forward to the 100 and the 100. This is the 100 Grasse. You running the 100, right? Yeah.
Whatever he's in.
Whatever Grasse is in. The women's 100, of course. I love sprinting. I'm a hurdler, but I love sprinting. That's one of my strengths also. Hopefully, when I'm done with hurdles, I'd love to switch over to full-time sprinting. But that's the event I'm definitely looking forward to.
And Olympic Games, the other sport that you like?
I love gymnastics. Me and Simone Biles are really good friends. And then tennis. Tennis is my favorite sport, so I love to go watch that.
So if we look at your lineup for the 110 metre hurdles, it looks on season's best, and also if you go back to last year, a fairly evenly matched contest. What are your thoughts on the men's sprint hurdles?
It's going to be epic as always. One thing I respect about hurdles is every time you line up, you have to be on your A game. Like I said, hurdles is such a contact sport. It really is. You have to be in your P's and your Q's. Don't take none of the competitors for granted. Like I said, you have 10 obstacles in your win. If you're not clean and technically sound, you're not going to win, period. So don't take it for granted. I'm just going to go out there and put my best foot forward.
It's the last event of the day. Are you used to that, being the sort of showstopper, the men's sprint hurdles?
Nuh-uh, it's never been that way. It's usually the 100.
Because you're here.
That's because I'm here, Yeah, obviously, I love this place. I have a lot of great memories here, and this crazy thing is, ironically, we're at the same hotel that we were in 2017, and crazy thing is I've got the same room. So I walked in and you can it was ridiculous. It was crazy. I was
How
like,
did you
God.
remember which room you were in?
I remember. I mean, it's worlds. You remember everything. You can play out everything. And I walked in and I was just over. I was welcomed with a lot of emotions. I remember the exact same spot me and my mom was praying, and all the happiness, the joy, everything. It was crazy. So it's a great memory for me.
As somebody looking on the men's 100 metre scene in the post-Bolt era, what are your thoughts on the contenders that are emerging in that? You're not going to be completely neutral, but what do you think?
It's a lot of fast twitch. It's a lot of fast twitch muscle. I guess it's always exciting. It's crazy. I get nervous for hurdles, but I never get nervous for sprints because it's such a fun event for me. I love watching it, and it's just crazy how these guys just line up and just put their best foot forward and always just produce fast times. It's a beautiful thing. I really enjoy it.
And it's all well in Jamaica at the moment because we saw Bolt have to make a defence of his coach, and it sounded like there's a little bit of discontent and a little bit of unsettled athletes, perhaps.
Yeah, I think Jamaica's just going through that little phase right now of like figuring stuff out, figuring who is next, who's the next big sprinter. But it's just like I said, Usain Bolt retired and he left a little dent in Jamaican track and field, and it's just that constant struggle and pressure of trying to fill that void. And I just feel like they really need to just be patient, very patient with the athletes, and allow us to shine our own lights. So it's just Jamaica. The fans are just a little bit uneasy, but we'll be all right.
And final question from me. In the men's sprint hurdles, it looks as though it's absolutely key to get to the first hurdle first, because from there you can apply pressure, you can take the pressure off yourself.
Yes.
Is that how it is? Is that why we get twitchiness and false starts and
Definitely, but I think that's always been my goal going into, just try to use my speed to my advantage in my start to take control, because it's such a contact sport. I always say it, I'm never going to stop saying that. It's such a contact sport, and it's just all about strategy and control. And my strategy is to get out and take control and put everybody else under pressure. That's all. That's how hurdling is. So, my goal is to just get out and just take control and just allow the race to come to me.
we wish you well. Let's turn to
Thank you so
Andre.
much.
Let's get our two mandatory questions out of the way. Which other events, apart from these two, will you be looking out for over the weekend and the Olympic Games?
Yeah, no, I love watching the hurdles, definitely. Men's and women's. I would say that's probably one of my favorite events to watch when I'm not competing. And then, of course, probably the long jump. That's really exciting for me to watch, see how far they can jump. So I would say, those two events.
If we had a long jump contest, what could you do?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't long jumped in so long, since like high school. But
7 meters?
Hopefully, maybe.
Dina?
Me? I don't know. It'd be a miracle if I got into the pit, I think.
6 meters?
Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty fast, so yeah.
Omar?
Right.
I'd probably jump 850. Luva could never see that. He could never.
Nice.
Like, I'd beat him.
So, Andre, there's famous pictures of you goofing around with Bolt at the Rio Olympic Games, but since then, hamstring has been the bane of your life. In that time out from the sport, what have you learned about yourself? Are you a good watcher of the sport? Are you good at rehab? Have you been like a caged animal? How's it been?
Yeah, I just learned to grow a lot. Just being out and watching and seeing a lot of stars emerge. You appreciate your journey and you appreciate, how much hard work you have to put into, come back from an injury. So definitely, those are kind of the things I've learned, and I've just been growing, and I'm still young, so I'm just, fortunate enough to, just be back in here and be back, and now I'm healthy, so I'm just feeling good.
Are you a good watcher? So when you're out injured, do you still keep in touch with the sport, or do you think, oh no, wait till I'm back?
First year, not really. I didn't even want to watch it. I was like, I was just so devastated. But now, as I came back 2018, I started watching it more, started learning, seeing other athletes come in. So now I've decided, I saw a lot of people, learned a couple of their techniques, people from the start, top end speed. So definitely I've learned a lot.
And it looks as though your form is rounding in quite nicely. You've gone sub 20 for 200, you're close to 10 flat for 100. Are you happy with how things are?
Yeah, things are going well. I'm happy. Everything is, clicking for me right now, just coming back from the injury. So definitely just looking forward to, the rest of the season and, getting back to where I was and being ready for the World Championship.
And this is a Diamond League where there are heats and finals in the men's 100. Do you prefer that, or would your preference be for one race?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I kind of hate the one-off races, definitely, you get into it more. I feel like I get into, more of my running, my technique. As the rounds go, I get better. So definitely I'm looking forward to, the 2 rounds here.
And we always sort of think of men's 100 metres as being the heavyweight boxing division of track and field. What are your impressions of the names that are emerging now in the post-Bolt era, and where do you see yourself in all of that?
Yeah, it's good. There's a lot of people that are just, up and coming, and people are coming in running fast times. So I think it's, right now it's even. It's anybody's game who can win. There's no true favorite. So I think that's good for the competition, and, that's kind of what it is. I feel like, even though, Bolt is gone, there's still a lot of people to fill his shoes and keep the sport going.
And as a Canadian, your trials processes aren't as rigorous as the US trials, which are coming up next week. What's your route through to Doha, and what do you expect from that? And en route, what do you expect from this weekend?
Yeah, for me this weekend, just trying to run fast, get my first sub 10 of the season. That would be very, very good for me going into my Canadian trials. And then, just, try to take back the throne and, win the championship there, being out for the past couple of years. So definitely got to, step up and do that. And then just figure it out from there and figure out where my season will go from there and getting ready for the World Championship.
Have you been following what's been happening to the British sprinter James Ellington, recovering from that really bad motorcycle accident, and he's back in the lineup?
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that, having been sidelined?
Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people, so I think that's great. Him coming back. I'm looking forward to seeing his return. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's a great guy, so definitely looking forward to seeing him just go out there and and put on a show and see where he's at. And it's a blessing just to come back and be in the sport for him. So no matter how well he does, I'm happy for him.
Good, thank you. Questions from you? Nobody? Yes.
This is a question for Dina. You're talking about training, working on your taking your technical points. What sort of, without giving away the factory secrets, what sort of things are you going to be looking for in this games to sort of improve on and see that develop in time as well?
Well, going into the Summer League, without giving away too many secrets, it's only going to be my third and fourth 100 of the year. So for me, it's very much getting back into the pattern of racing hundreds and getting used to the difference between the 1 and the 2s, because I kind of front-loaded my season with 200s this year. And just going through the motions, making sure that I hit the points under pressure that my coach wants me to do, and just to enjoy it and put on a good show for the crowd.
What would you consider a good performance for you this weekend?
To do well and just hit the points that my coach kind of wants me to hit.
Any more? Yep, at the back.
Omar, you ready?
You said when you were done with hurdling, you might have a go at the sprints. Is that a serious ambition?
It really is. I'm very serious.
How fast do you think you can go in the 100?
Fast enough to beat Andre. Absolutely. Yes. It's my favorite event, actually, the 200.
You should enter it then.
I should, and beat Andre again.
When might you do that? We have a Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in a couple of years' time.
Really?
Might that be?
Yeah, that's the perfect time to go ahead. Mark today.
These people will hold you to account.
They will, and that's why I have to work hard and make it happen. Hold me accountable.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Just for Dina. Obviously, it's been a huge summer for women's sport, Women's World Cup and netball. Is it something that you personally feel is growing in the sport, and going into this weekend, do you feel as if there'll be more eyes on you and more girls in the crowd who will be more interested in sport and more wanting to get involved?
Hopefully, that's something that I would hope would happen every single year, and it has been a fantastic summer so far for women's sport. It's not done. We've obviously got the World Championships in October, which hopefully there'll be tons of women across the world wanting to do fantastically in that. But it's been a great summer so far with the Netball World Cup right now and the Women's Football World Cup, and I just hope that people are really inspired. And it's always really nice to be inspiring young people, boys and girls, and I just hope that we can do them proud and they enjoy watching us. Hopefully that counts for this weekend as well.
Yeah, at the front. Stick.
Just a question on competing at the London Stadium. I guess it's relevant for all three of you. What that stadium means to you and how much you're looking forward to getting back out there at the weekend. Starting with Omar, maybe.
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, I have a great memory here. I won in 2017, so it's a fast track. The crowd is exuberating. I'm really excited to just go out there and just put on a show for the crowd. I have a huge fan base here, and I love London. It's one of my favorite places, my favorite meets. So really exciting.
Yeah, obviously, this is my home Diamond League meet, so I'm really excited. It's always the first one that I put in the calendar. I know that I'm obviously going to be in London and hoping to put on a good show when I'm running in front of a home crowd. I've got quite a few friends and family coming to watch me this weekend, so I'm super excited. Lots of them haven't seen me run in person before, so I'm excited that they'll get to do that. And yeah, it's just always so warm. It's such a warm crowd, as Omar was saying, and they're always so vibrant and they're so gracious and respectful of all the competitors, and it makes me proud to be representing them in my home city.
And you were famously a kit carrier at the London 2012 Olympics.
Yeah.
Do you speak to your kit carrier in appropriate terms when you're
It depends. It depends. So, like now they've kind of changed it because we take our kit off before we go into the what is it called, the track into the stadium.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. We take off all our stuff in the corner, so we don't actually tend to see kit carriers anymore. So it's changed a bit more, but yeah, it depends. It depends if I'm nervous or not. It might depend on the energy that I give out. But yeah.
Andre, your memories.
Yeah, this will be my first time actually competing in the London Stadium. Since I didn't get the chance to compete at the World Championship. So I hear a lot of great stories. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I have some family in London, so they'll definitely come out and watch me compete here. So I'm just looking forward to the stadium, the atmosphere, and all the fans. So definitely want to just try to put on a show here.
I think you guys should bring back that mascot also.
Yeah, he's quite expensive. Hero, yes.
Dina, I was just wondering, how nervous do you get performing in front of like your family and like a huge London crowd?
I think I used to get more nervous when I was a bit younger, so maybe like 18, 17 and below, I used to get quite nervous. But I remember once I did Moscow World Champs at like 17, and I remember just kind of being put on the first leg, and I remember I was literally petrified. Like if I could have probably run away, I would have. But the team would have been like, what are you doing? So, but I told myself after that day, I'm never going to be as much of a deer in headlights. I'm never going to be as kind of unprepared and kind of as inexperienced ever again. And after that, my nerves literally just went away because, yeah, I'm not going to be in that situation again. So I used to, but I love it. I'm very grateful to have a passion in track and field, and I'm very grateful that I get to do that and run in front of my family, and it's my job, so I don't get too nervous. So.
Got time for a couple more questions if there are any. Yes, so over here, long journey for the baton.
One for Andre. Just wondered how becoming a father has changed you. How do you view the sport now? Do you view it differently?
Oh, yeah. It's changed me a lot. First of all, I gotta be more responsible for a lot of things growing up. But for sport-wise, not really. Hasn't really. I mean, maybe I've become more mature now as an adult, but definitely I don't think it's changed me that much from sport-wise. I mean, other than those couple things. So. Definitely, yeah. That's all I can say on that.
You've sort of changed your life a bit over the last couple of years. You've relocated your training base, your coaching setup. I mean, has that all been smooth?
Yeah. So far, yeah. I mean, in the beginning it was a little bit tough. Changing in atmosphere, changing environments. Because you're so comfortable in what you're used to. But over time, I got used to it. It took me a couple months or so to get used to it. But now I'm comfortable. I'm feeling good, and yeah.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much for your attendance. Don't forget we have another press conference at 1 o'clock. We're free now for one-to-ones, but let's wish good luck to all three of our first guests.
Can we get to one of these?
Yes, you can have a yogurt. By all means, that's your bonus time. You did very well. of the Muir Anniversary Games. The format will be the same, but introduce the athletes one at a time. I hope all of the snappers get the pictures they want. If not, the time is yours to move folk around, and we'll do all three together after we've done them one at a time. So let's start by welcoming an athlete who most recently broke the world mile record, and this is barely 6 months after she broke the European half marathon record. Please welcome from the Netherlands, Sifan Hassan. And the previous week did lots of posing and pouting and smiling and waving. Well done. Have a seat, please. And we welcome our token rit in the middle again, and she is the multiple national record holder on the track and triple European champion. Please welcome Laura Muir. Yeah, in the middle, lots of posing, pouting, mopots, whole arms, everything. Okay, thank you. And finally, a man with the loudest shirt in a built-up area, the world champion from London 2017 at 400-metre hurdle. So there's your bib, if you can centre up in the middle for shots. Yes. There was lots of posing and pouting, so don't be the least of them. That's the last.
I'm most awkward man you have it today, so you'll be getting a lot already. Okay, here we go.
And now, all three of you, please. And I think on this occasion, just for symmetry, we'll put the floral shirt in the middle. So if you wouldn't mind, you two on the other side, please.
Of course.
And Sifan. It's a three-way.
Oh, man. Okay.
What do you think I'm in there?
I feel like I'm taking my, what do you call it in jail?
Yeah, ID, Warholm, offences against hurdles, championship distance.
I don't know. I'm still always surprised myself from 1500 meter to 5000 meter. Last time I ran half marathon. Actually enjoy very much the half marathon and the shorter distance, but I didn't enjoy the 10,000 meter.
What will be your distance in Doha?
I think could be, because I want to double, I can double 5,000 meter and 1500 meter. I think I'm going to double 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter.
5 and 10?
Yes.
Because I think when you broke the record, you were quite recently talking about doing the double, but Laura knows that 2 of the races are on the same day or same session?
Yeah, same evening, yeah.
So that would have been your preferred double, 15 and 5,000, but you're now going for 5 and 10,000?
Yeah, I want to be 5,000 meter, but I don't think so you can double it.
No.
Can't do it?
There's no way, yeah, that's the problem.
Even Andy Young would rule that one out. An hour apart. An hour apart. Oh, luxury, an hour apart. Sorry, you could still do it. So what are your expectations from this weekend?
I really want to run, I depend on the weather. If the weather is good, and I really want to run fast time, personal best.
So here, in terms of under 14:30?
Yes, yeah, that's for sure.
Fantastic. What has been the big difference? You've been part of Nike Oregon Project for a couple of years now. Your career has come on in leaps and bounds. Your range is phenomenal. What are the big things that you do differently in training now that have helped you develop?
I really try hard. Like every message I have to throw up. The first year it's like it take me a year to adapt the trainer, but then last year is better. This year I don't have any problem with the train. But I every year see Alberto give us more and more and more. Like I always have headache after my session.
And how have you adjusted to living full time on the west coast of America, where the driving is terrible and the rain comes down quite a lot? Has that been an adjustment as well?
Actually, I live close to Nike, so we most of the time we do work out at the Nike. Like from my house is just like 5 minutes walking, and I don't have problem. Yeah, they drive.
And who are your most regular training partners? Do you train with the men, or is there a women's group that you're training with exclusively, or on your own?
Actually, I train mostly with man. When they do 800 meter repeat, I do like 600 or 400. Yeah, I think maybe that's the problem that I throw up. It's for them, it's easy. For me, it's very hard.
And because you're Dutch, what are the qualification requirements for Doha and Tokyo? Are you already selected, or have you got to attend a trial? What's the situation for that?
Sorry?
To be selected for Netherlands for Doha and Tokyo, how does that work for you?
I already selected because they don't have that much people, and if you make the time, then we have to just run a limit. That's all.
And the question that we're asking all 6 of our guests is, when you're at a major track and field meeting like this weekend, what other events do you like to see? If you're not warming up or warming down and you can get a sneak view on the screen or into the stadium, what other events do you look for?
1500 meter.
And when you're at an Olympic Games, what other sports, if you can get to see them, what do you like to watch?
Most actually, what I like actually I like special hurdle, the sprint, like 100 meter hurdle. I enjoy how they.
And outside of athletics, which other Olympic sports?
What do I like? I don't not on Olympic, but I like to watch also football.
Football.
But not on Olympic. I don't know what I like to watch on Olympic. I don't even know.
All right, we'll leave that one with you. And let's turn to Dr. Muir. How has life been? Have you been a year full time now, or almost?
Yeah, I qualified just over a year ago. Yeah, so that's me being full time.
And how's it worked out with your time? Because previously you were exams and you were placements and you were working around the clock, it seemed. Has that left you with time on your hands that has been to the benefit of your athletics?
Yeah, I think before the recovery was compromised quite a lot. You know, I wasn't getting that much sleep, and I was kind of running off my feet a lot of the time. So since having qualified, I've had that time to recover now in between training sessions, and we've been able to get away out on training camps a lot more as well, and use the good weather, which has been really good.
And if everything went to plan with your running and with your return to veterinary medicine at some point, when would you do that, and how do you keep your hand in the meantime?
Yeah, well, we have to do so much like CPD each year, so that's continued professional development. So I'll continue to do that to stay qualified, and I'm exploring a few different avenues of areas I can hopefully get involved with the veterinary, but it's just difficult, you know, with training and being away so much, and with Tokyo next year. So yeah, probably more after Tokyo next year I might come back to have a bit more of a closer look at it. But I think with the Olympics on the horizon, I have to try and kind of give the athletics 100% at the moment. Yeah.
And with that in mind, on your way back from the Eugene Diamond League, you went via Tokyo.
Yeah.
What can you tell us? Is it going to be horrendous for weather?
Well, when we were there, it was slightly cooler than normal, but it was very humid. But yeah, no, I trained well out there. It was very hot, but it was just nice to kind of get used to the conditions out there, get a vibe for the place. You know, suss out a few of the areas that we'll be training and staying and. So it just means, next year when we go there, you know, we've got a bit of peace of mind that I'm comfortable with where I'm at, and I know I can train well there, and I like the conditions, yeah.
And this has been a pretty happy hunting ground for you. Certainly in the Diamond League, it was a British record for you, breaking Kelly Holmes' time here. What are your thoughts going into the weekend?
Well, I feel like I think probably PB shape. I feel like I'm almost in the best shape I've ever been in. So, you know, I ran 800 PB last week, so I certainly feel like I'm in my kind of PB shape of 3:55. It's just whether all the boxes on the day can be ticked, you know, if that kind of time can come off. But I'm really looking forward to getting out there. You know, it's going to be a really competitive field with the likes of, you know, Olympic champion and Faith in there, and Constance's as well, who's run so well over 3K as well. So I think it's going to be a really competitive race, really exciting, and hoping we can run some fast times.
And you haven't extended up to a half marathon like Sifan yet, but you do regularly cover 800, 1500, 3000, 5000 almost in alternate weeks. What's your favourite and what's your preferred championship distance where you can't double?
I think my preferred championship event's probably the 1500. Yeah, I feel like it's just a little bit more exciting at a championship level. You know, it can go so many different ways. But in terms of favourite event, I'm almost inclined to say like 800. I just quite like it. You know, it's just so fast, so hard, and yeah, I do really like the 800. But I think 1500 is, you know, where I feel most comfortable. Yeah.
What's the event you look out for? If I know you've got training partners in certain other events, but what's the other track and field event you most enjoy looking out for?
To be honest, I love everything. Yeah, I'm racing tomorrow, but I'm staying to watch all of Sunday because I just love watching the athletics. So yeah, I know like sprints, hurdles, distance, throws, jumps, everything. Yeah.
And Olympic Games, what other sport do you keep an eye out for, or do you go and see if you can?
I didn't manage to see anything when I was in Rio, but I like sort of like, you know, the diving and the gymnastics, stuff like that. Yeah.
Very good. And you've had some travelling, haven't you? Your group, one way and another. European Junior double for your training partner. Is Andy keeping up to date with it, with his Coca-Cola injections as well?
Yeah, no, Gemma did very, very well at the under-23s, yeah, just last weekend. We've got a girl competing this weekend, under-20s, so yeah, it's great to see the group, you know, doing so well, and we're all spurring each other on.
And a Canadian import, Gabrielle Stafford, running very well. Is she relocated to sunny Glasgow yet?
She has relocated to, I'm not sure, sunny Glasgow, but yeah, it's in Glasgow now, so it's, yeah, great, you know, she's a 4-minute runner now too, you know, broken multiple Canadian records this season, so it's great to have her in our training group now, and we can all push each other on. Yeah.
Let's turn to the shy and understated figure of Karsten Warholm. What should we expect from you this weekend? It's been a happy hunting ground for you, hasn't it?
Yes, I very much like it here in London, and that's why I keep coming back. For me, it was, this is where it all started. And it's very funny to come back because this is the same hotel, and the pub down the street is the same it was 2 years ago, and the Tower Bridge is still here, and you know, so it's all the good memories for me. So I really much like it here. The track is very good, and also the warm-up facilities is also world class.
And we have you down as an entertainer. Is that what you've always been like, or is that something that you've built around your athletics? I remember you doing the Viking helmet thing and the old sand star in the long jump pit on your warm down or your lap of honour after winning here. Are you a natural showman?
That was a weak moment of mine. And I tend to have a lot of those. But then it's probably good that some people can see the humor and the entertainment in it. For me, it's about, you know, I very much like running. I very much like to train, and at the same time, I very much hate to train. And when you then get the chance to fulfill your dreams or whatever, you tend to get very happy. And when I'm happy, I do stupid things. It's the same thing as being drunk or whatever. You're in another state of mind, and you want to do. You just want to do whatever makes you happy, and it's probably fun for people to watch.
You evidently made a very late decision to run at the European Indoor Championships in Glasgow, where you won, and you had to persuade your coach. And the picture you posted was you with a chainsaw, him tied to a chair, persuading your coach. Is he here? Is he in the room?
Yeah, he's there. I didn't kill him yet.
What's your actual relationship with your coach like? How does that work? Did you have to persuade him?
I had to persuade him, yeah, absolutely. But the story is another one than the one that we got out in the picture, because I was very eager to buy myself a racing horse, because I've heard that you could earn money from that. You know, I'm from the Scottish part of Norway, so I like to earn money. And I wanted to have one of these horses, but and he was supposed to train the horse, but he felt like that was a waste of time. And also the wrong focus for me. So actually we made a decision that if I was to ditch the idea about buying a horse, and then we could go to Glasgow, and I felt like that was a win-win situation probably. So that's what really happened. But we have a very good relationship. And you know, it's the kind of relationship where you can be very honest. And if the dress is too big, I tell him, you know, you're too fat for that dress. And he's like, okay, you know, and we're still friends after that. You know what I mean?
But he's laughing. He's not going to slap you when you get out, are you?
You know, that depends, but no, he don't. We connect on the same level, you know. If you can connect on the same level and you can talk to someone and be completely honest and really try to understand each other, I think you can really go very, very long way, and that is what we are very good at. So it's not, you know, that is not. There are 40 years between us, almost. Not in the mind, but physical. So it's not given that we are supposed to be such good friends that we are. So I'm very grateful for the relationship. Absolutely.
I just wanted to ask you a little bit about Norway, because alongside you got Laura Muir. Scottish athletics is going well, but it was in the doldrums. Norwegian athletics with yourself and the Ingebrigtsens appears to be going well, but it wasn't always like that. So I can remember Ingrid Christensen and Grete Waitz saying there's not really anybody coming through. You had a few wilderness years in Norway. So who were your role models? Who were the people that drew you through the sport to where you are now?
Oh, I get the question a lot, and you know, it's like I feel like I should answer a certain or specific person, but for me, I've always been driven about what I like to do, and I've been pleasant enough to lucky enough to have good people around me that influences me very well, and that is what keeps me going, to be honest. And my dreams are just my dreams, and I want to find my way of doing it. But at the same time, I like to kind of shop from others and see what they do and what works for them. But bottom line, I gotta find my own way. So, you know, I find a lot of inspiration, but I've never had that one person that I've looked up to. So, gotta disappoint you there.
What would you be looking out for on a track and field program apart from the men's 400 meter hurdles? What do you keep a look out for on the giant screen?
Probably boring, but I like to watch the 400 meters because I like to run that as well, and I feel like you need to be fast at the 400 meters as well to run good hurdles. So I find that very, very interesting to watch because I tend to learn from those guys.
And final question, at Olympic Games, what other sport do you like to see?
Oh, that's tough. You know, I'm mostly in my own bubble, in my own head, but if I was to watch something, I would probably say like golf or cycling or something.
Individual sports?
Absolutely. What is team? Just kidding.
The European Team Championships coming up in 3 weeks' time.
I'm not going.
Questions from you? Anybody want to start? Okay. Oh, one at the back there, yeah. So I think we'll get a microphone to you.
Laura, do you go into this weekend's race with any tactical thoughts? Obviously a rematch with Faith after Prefontaine.
I probably don't want to give too much away, but I've got a few plans. Yeah, you know, I never go into a race with just one plan. I'll have plans A, B, C, and D, and hopefully plan A will go ahead. But yeah, I always have 1500 meters. You're not always entirely sure what's going to happen, so I'll have a few ideas. But yeah, I have in my mind what I want to do, how I want to run the race. But you'll just have to wait till tomorrow.
Do you think it'll be faster than Prefontaine?
Yeah, I'd hope so. Yeah, no, it was 3:59 we ran there, so certainly I think it'll depend a little bit on the conditions tomorrow. I think it might be a little bit wet, but I'm used to that. So yeah, hopefully if conditions and pace allows, it should be a bit faster. Yeah.
And would you like to have been in that mile race last week?
Yeah, no, it was amazing to watch. Yeah, no, because I was there racing the 800, so yeah, part of me was thinking, if I was in that race, what could I have done? But at the same time, I trusted in my coach's plan. There was always a plan to run 800 there and 1500 here. So yeah, no, it was an amazing race to watch, and it was special to be there. Yeah.
Was there another hand alongside you, or just across the aisle? Yeah, the lady there.
Okay, Laura, we have heard last March during the World Championship indoor athletes, and there was a very big snow.
Mm.
Yeah, we have heard you took a taxi from Glasgow to Birmingham. Is that true? Yeah, and still won the silver medal and brown medal for 1,500 and 3,000 meters. My question is, if there wasn't that very big snow, would you be the champion? Is it the snow disturb your speed?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those questions, isn't it? What if? But no, you know, I went into the championships not really knowing what I was going to be able to do because I was in the middle of final year, and yeah, it was pretty tough going. You know, trying to train and feeling pretty tired. So to come away with the silver and bronze, you know, I was absolutely delighted with that. And yeah, it was. We only kind of thought about running one event there, and then it worked to do the two. So to do the two and come away with 2 medals, I was very, very happy. And yeah, I didn't really have any disappointments with not having the gold as such. Yeah.
Can I just ask you briefly about the Westminster Mile? Because you were beaten by 2 British athletes there,
Yeah.
and things didn't look like they were completely on track. But in context now, how was that race for you?
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah, it was disappointing, you know, to run on home soil and you know, not come away with the win. But I think that just shows the standard of British endurance racing now, that, you know, I can have an off day and I'm not going to win. You know, these girls are really strong now. You know, Millie and Sarah have both been running very, very well this year, and, you know, running lots of PBs. So, yeah, I just had a bit of an off day, and unfortunately when I have an off day, I can't get away with it. You know, these girls are really strong, so which is great to see, and it makes my job a little bit harder, but it's great to have, you know, those girls pushing me. Yeah.
But like within a week, you were back to normal.
Yeah, I just knew that, you know, I trained really hard at altitude for a month prior to that, and I just sort of dropped in the day before, so I was just a bit tired, and the hay fever was really bad that day as well, but I think we were all suffering from it that day. But I knew I was in a good place. You know, you can't sort of smash every race and get that outcome every race. You know, we had to prioritise on the races later on in the year, and I'm where I want to be now, which is what's important. Yeah.
Who's next? See your hand at the back there.
Karsten, I think Samba's down to run the 4 flat this weekend. Do you want to race him, or do you feel like that can wait until World Champs?
If we were to take the back time to last year, I would probably postpone that. but at the same time, it's a special situation now because there are 3 or 4 guys running very, very fast times, and we haven't met each other or ran against each other yet this year, and that is just by chance or luck, because I think everyone is just doing their own thing, and we just haven't raced yet. But I would actually like to race Samba at the 400 meter flat, but it's probably too late now because I'm running the hurdles tomorrow and he's running on Sunday. So best of luck to him.
Would you kind of like him to be in the hurdles race?
Absolutely, yeah, I'm ready. What?
I'll speak to him, see what he does.
Yeah. Do it. Say hi from me.
Do you? By the way, I've seen the start lineup. Do you always favour lane 7 and 8 if you get the chance? Most people don't like to run that wide because they don't see people. You seem to go very, very well from the outside lanes.
I like to run my own race, but at the same time, the reason why I always choose the outer lanes is because I just want to get the pressure off my legs, you know, get the longest turn that I can, and it's to prevent injury mostly. So I do it like that, and I know that in championships I gotta deal with whatever lane I get. So if I was to get lane 1, I would run that as well. But yeah, put me out if you can.
Any more? Yes, Chris.
Laura, just going back to World Champs 2017, same stadium as this weekend. We all know, obviously, you're such a much improved athlete since then. But it'd be nice just to hear from you, how and where do you think you're an improved athlete based on what you've done since 2017?
I think since 2017 I'm a lot stronger an athlete. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a lot better shape, both speed and endurance-wise, than I was then. And I think just it's taken a bit of time race-wise as well, just to kind of catch up with tactics thing as well. I guess I started a little bit later on in the sport, sort of performing at a high level, so I kind of had to catch up a little bit in terms of like tactics and things. So it's just taken a few championships, you know, to get those tactics, and I'm learning sort of year on year, and each year is getting better and better. And I think I saw last year, you know, lots of the championships I was running well. Indoors this year and outdoors this year I've been running well. So yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, training hard and consistently getting stronger and faster, and at the same time mentally catching up with the tactics side of things as well.
Any more questions? Okay, we wish the very best to all three of our guests here today across the weekend, and now we're free for breakouts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.